What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/IDoWorkHereLady. Alright, this story's called, "This name tag isn't just a cute accessory." So this happened about 2 to 3 years ago, but I just now remembered it. Obligatory, I'm on mobile, yada yada. Context! I work at the infamous Bullseye Smart, sorry. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the uniform there. Khaki pants, red shirt of some kind, name tag, closed-toe shoes, you get the idea. I'm lucky that the mart I work at is pretty chill on uniform. As long as the outer layer is 90% of some shade of red and the pants aren't ripped to high heaven and everything is work appropriate, we can wear whatever we want, including jeans. Incident. So it's a warm, sunny day at work and I'm wearing my coolest work-appropriate attire. Lightest pair of jeans I have, sneakers, and a red and white striped shirt, and a name tag displaying my name and the store's logo on. Since I'm working self-checkout that day, I'm also outfitted with the right equipment, namely a walkie-talkie, a small portable scanner, and keys that jingle with every step I take. Note, the keys are the only thing slightly hard to spot just by looking at me. The walkie-talkie and the scanner are pretty bulky. So for the last 5 minutes, I've been running around every which way helping the small crowd that descended upon the self-scan lines. So it might appear to the unobservant I'm some clueless customer trying to find a certain candy bar on lane or something. Finally, the line calms down enough and no one needs my immediate attention, so I walk over and stand next to the woman waiting in line for the self-scan. I exhale and enjoy my brief moment of peace when the woman, the Karen of the story, gives a surprised "Wow!" Me thinking she was talking about the long line we just had. I know. Nice summer days bring in a big crowd, huh?
I can't believe you just cut me.
Huh? I didn't cut you.
Yes, you did. I watched you walk over, grab a candy bar, and then stand in front of me. You cut me in line.
I just stood there, confused, and no candy bar in hand. Then it clicked. Ma'am, I work here.
A likely story.
I looked down at my bulky walkie-talkie and scanner and my name tag. Very likely. Karen rolled her eyes and walked away, muttering something about how
rude some people can be.
She then proceeded to get into the only other open lane, which had 3 other people ahead of her, one looking like a fairly large order. I kinda shrug and share a people will be people look with the next guy in line. But it's not over yet. About 15 minutes later, the cashier, I'll call her Alia, waved me down. So I walked up to her side of the lane while still keeping an eye on the self-scan. "What's up, Alia?"
"The machine won't take this lady's coupon."
I glance over and Karen and I lock eyes. She scoffs and rolls her eyes. I ignore her and glance at the coupon. Alia's holy. Ali A? The YouTuber? Kidding. Oh, here's the problem. The coupon's expired.
Just by a day, though.
I'm handing the coupon back to Alia. We can still honor it. Just enter the price change manually and put the coupon with the others.
I don't know how to do that. Then call someone over to show you how to do it and stop wasting my time.
I can show you.
Really?
Karen at the same time as Alia.
You can?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. So I show Alia how to enter a coupon manually and what to do with it afterwards. She thanks me and I am about to head back to my post when Karen looks at me, absolutely flabbergasted.
Wait, so you do work here?
Have for a couple years now. Why do you ask?
You do work here? And that's not a Halloween costume?
I just kinda stared at the woman, and Alia later told me I looked exactly like that one meme where the math is floating around a woman's head. Then I told the Karen, why would I be wearing a Halloween costume in the middle of July? Holy, thank you to whoever gifted me my first silver. I really want to know some of these people's trains of thought. Like, how would she think, or why would she think that this person is dressed in a Halloween costume and trying to fake work? I mean, it's happened before, I'm sure, but like, why Why was that her first assumption? And you know what? Help is help. And if someone impersonates an employee and rings you up and does everything really well, that's not your problem. That's the store's problem, right? Because you're still giving your money, you're still getting the stuff, you just do your thing, all right? You don't have to call it out unless you want to get involved, in which case you either play along with them and, like, I don't know, fire him on the spot, pretend to be mature, because what is he gonna know? Alright, this story's called, Sir, you're talking to the manager of this department. At first, apologies if this doesn't belong here. I stumbled upon an old dog toys chest while cleaning out the attic, and it reminded me of something that happened about 7 years ago. So, there you go. It was the year 2014. I'd gotten my dog trainer's license 2 years ago, and soon found a job in a small but pretty popular dog training school. It was just a side job, but I loved it. Since I'd collected a lot of experience with dogs even before I got my license, I got assigned the department for complicated. This dog school was basically the concept that dog owners called in with their dogs, described what exactly they were looking for, playgroup, obedience training, help with a problematic dog, and we assigned them to one of the different types of departments. Obviously, as the stereotype shows, I had to put up with a lot of dangerous dogs like pit bulls, American Staffordshire Terriers, and others, just because their owners thought it would be cool to train their dog to guard their property and to have a smart, big dog. Obviously, most of them realized later they couldn't handle the dog and sought for help. Come the day. I was in the middle of a training. These specific dogs required their owners were away, so I could work on the problems first without being disturbed, and had several dangerous dogs running around me because it was playtime. I don't remember their exact. I think 2 were bloodhounds, a Staffordshire, and some bull terriers or pit bulls. This peaceful atmosphere gets disturbed by someone yelling something over the fence around the small field. One dog starts barking and gets completely furious, trying to storm the fence, and sets the other dogs into angry mode too. I somehow manage to collect them and leash them to some extra posts so they can't do anything stupid. Already pissed because at the fence there is a sign, if in use, don't disturb, and because whoever this was just put my own health at serious risk, I walked over to the fence and there is a guy standing and looking incredibly mad. The conversation went about like this. Here's Guy and me. Hello, sir. How can I help you?
What are you doing? These are dangerous dogs. I will call the police.
Note, I am a pretty small girl and look younger than I am. Maybe that's what set him off. Sir, what are you talking about?
They are dangerous dogs. You need to get out of there. You're not allowed in here.
Sir, I work here.
Stop lying. You're too young and weak to work here.
He tries to open the gate. Thank God it was locked exactly because of this. Sir, I really do work here. Please don't damage the gates. They are locked for a good reason.
Liar! How did you even get in there?
I desperately wave keys in front of his face.
You surely stole the keys. I'll call the police.
I'm exhausted and worried because the pit bulls behind me start making very angry noises. Fine, do it, but maybe you should go to the office behind you first if you got any complaints. He went to the office and I could finally get back to the dogs, who at this point were completely losing it, and I had to be very careful. Sometime later, the guy comes back with one of my assistants, but in another group. He points at me and starts yelling something, to which I just sigh, Jesus, and put the dogs away. As I walk over, my assistant recognizes me, sighs, and turns to the guy, explaining that I'm actually his boss. The guy stares at me and starts saying how that's not possible because a weak woman can't handle these big, dangerous dogs. And how is he gonna report that to the police? And finally storms off. The result of this encounter was putting up another sign at the entrance of the property to direct any issues with the trainers to the office, and me having lost the training progress of 2 days. Great. I don't work there anymore, but I thought of maybe sharing this story. Just don't assume that just because someone doesn't look like he fits for the job, it means he doesn't work there. Also, if he has got the keys. I know who's got the keys. Does that mean he's the boss? I mean, according to him, he probably is. Why don't we just ask him? Someone hit up DJ Khaled. Khaled? Whatever he wants to go by. It's Khaled if you want to be correct, though. Alright, this story's called Please Do Not Steal From My Staff. Now step off! This may not be 100% accurate, as it is partially second and happened before COVID-19, whenever that was. Me and my friend Zeke had just finished secondary school. I'm not sure what the equivalent from the US is, sorry. And I needed some money before I applied to university. I had applied for a student loan, but I wanted to pay for everything that I could with my own money to reduce debt afterwards. Anyway, the story. Me and Zeke, both 18, almost 19, when we were working part-time at the local bakery. The owner had gone out for their lunch, seeing as Zeke and myself only work part-time, we didn't have lunch breaks, as we ate at home before work. The manager had left me in charge for the 45 minutes she was away. Of course, it had to be within those exact 45 minutes that a Karen came in. Haircut, fake Chanel handbag, tacky sunglasses, the lot. Me and Zeke heard the bell ding at the counter, and he said he would go to serve, what's her name? Margaret Fanuli. There we go, Margaret Fanuli. He would go serve Margaret Fanuli and let me watch the oven. I could hear them speaking from the open door, and the following interactions went as such. Excuse me, madam, how may I help you today? Our bread is fresh from this morning. She ignores him. May I help you? He asked again, in case she hadn't heard.
Watch your tone,
she shouted. I apologize, ma'am. I thought you hadn't heard me.
Don't worry.
Zeke waited patiently at the counter, waiting for Margaret Fanuli to choose what she would like. She was taking a little longer than expected, but it was no matter. It's not like there was much business that day anyway. Her bag was a very bad fake, and her purse was clearly a visible hot pink mess. Remember this.
I would like 2 tiger loaves and 3 brown seeded loaves, please. Sliced.
Of course, madam. He put on some gloves and picked out the 2 tiger loaves into bags before slicing the brown loaves through the machine and putting them into bags as well. He checked the prices at the register and totaled them. That would be $13.25, please.
Oh no, I'm not paying. I know the manager and he lets me have free loaves.
Zeke sniggered quietly and apologized. Sorry, madam. I seriously doubt that.
No, you shut up and give me my bread. You can't prove me wrong.
I can and will. For a start, the manager is a woman. Margaret Fanuli went pale and looked down awkwardly.
Why does it matter to you, brat? Anyway, you probably don't even work here. You're too young to work.
I don't think 18 is too young to... She cut him off abruptly and began ranting about how people my age were always carrying fake IDs and that she would call the police on us as soon as she was done here.
Shut up and let me talk to your coworker,
she said. Zeke signaled for me to come through. I hadn't seen him as I was taking a batch out of the ovens. Hi, come here for a moment, please. Thanks, mate. I came through and Margaret Fanuli started having a go at me for teaching my staff to lie and that she knew me and that I said she could have free bread products. No, madam, I do not know you and I'm not the manager. I can't exactly see the manager telling us to give away free stuff. Margaret Fanuli went on another huge rant about me letting underage people work here, and she would email the county leadership and have us shut down and me thrown in jail. Sorry, madam. Again, I'm not the manager. I'm sure you can afford this.
Fine. I suppose you'll have to pay for the bread instead.
Excuse me? That's not what I said whatsoever. She ignores me and goes to grab my bag, which is in the corner behind some chairs used for waiting. Zeke ran to grab my bag from her as all I could do was watch. I was shorter than him and had a lesser build. Coupled with the fact I was scared really didn't help. At this point, owner walked through the door and almost dropped her coffee. She slammed it down onto the counter, almost spilling it, and shouted,
"What is going on here?"
She shouted, looking at me. This woman claims she knows you and you said she could have free bread?
He has my purse in his bag.
Her bag had been dropped onto the floor and the contents partially spilled across across the floor. Believe it or not, including the pink mess she called a purse.
Your purse is right here on the floor,
she said. Margaret Fanuli let go of my bag and kicked it across the floor. She picked her own stuff up and went to pay for the bread like she should have and avoided this bullcrap.
I don't think so,
She said.
Don't steal from my staff. Now step off.
She said, pointing to the door. We sometimes laugh about that eventful day, especially when we see her with her spoiled kids at the park. Sometimes she flips us off. We obviously flip her off in return, and that's that. P.S. We never did hear from the police or countership. She was just trying to score some free grub and did it in a stupid way. Here's my tactic to get free grub. Alright, so it takes a bit of initial investment, or if you want to do it the long way, you can, but this is the quick. Okay, so what you want to do is buy a restaurant. Alright, it sounds crazy, I know. Why would I buy a restaurant to get free food? You're buying a restaurant. No, just bear with me. Alright, make this restaurant super successful, and while you're owning the restaurant, you can have free food. You know, it's pretty cool. But anyway, so make this restaurant super successful, and then make a franchise deal. Alright, now you have multiple locations, and they're all doing really, really successful. Okay, and then one of the big food guys, like you know, McDonald's, or if they have a parent company, their parent company, they're like, hey man, I like your stuff. Can I buy it from you for a lot of money? And then you're like, yes, you can, but instead of money, only money, obviously you want the money too, I want a lifetime supply of free food at all of your locations. Alright, now you have free food at any of McDonald's parent company's restaurants, which is a lot of restaurants if they have it. And then if McDonald's is the parent company, you get theirs. It's the same thing, basically. But you get it? That's how you get free food. It's absolutely foolproof.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.